Hello friends, today we'll discuss Economic Survey 2022-23. Economic Survey is an important document for the aspirants of civil services because the information given in the Economic Survey is helpful in both prelims, mains and as well as personality test. So, every aspirant must have an idea about the economic survey and the information provided in economic survey, because this is the document released by the government of India, and this document contains all the authenticated numbers and the authenticated statistical information and also the viewpoint of the government of India towards the development process of the country, and also they provide some sort of suggestions for the growth of the country. So definitely this document is very important. Normally this document looks so voluminous, but if you start understanding, it won't take much time. The only thing, you need to understand how to read economic survey. So it is not something like a textbook where you need to remember each and every line. So this is something, an analytical document. They will give some data and they draw some analysis from that. And if you are able to draw that analysis from that data, and also if you are able to make some conclusions out of the data, then economic survey is done. So that is how you need to. Normally economic survey consisting of 2 volumes, but this year they have published it on only volume 1 and they have given some statistical appendix. I will show you both the volume and as well as the statistical appendix. So economic survey is submitted to the parliament by the finance minister and it was prepared by the chief economic advisor, and chief economic advisor works in the Department of Economic Affairs under the Ministry of Finance, because the departments are very important. Already UPSC has asked a question related to which department prepares the budget. So you may get a question which department prepares the economic survey. Okay. So normally when you are getting 2 volumes, 1 volume deals with the performance of the economy in the last 1 year in particular and in the last few years in general, and the various policies taken by the government, and in another volume they will try to take the important issues that the economy is facing and they will try to give some suggestions. So that is how advisor will try to give the advices to the government through its economic survey. And this economic survey published 1 day prior to the presentation of the budget. And in this economic survey, the advisor will gives you an outlook to the economy, what is going to happen to the financial year that is going to conclude, and also he is give a projection to the next year, and also he will explain the performance of the various sectors in the economy, and he will try to analyze the global situation or the global conditions and how it impacts the Indian economy. And it is not only about the performance of the various sectors of economy, it talks about sustainability, it talks about inclusivity, it talks about the social indicators apart from economic indicators. It also talks about human resource management, it talks about the various schemes and programs started by the government, and it talks about the achievements of the government because of the implementation of various programs. So this is all about economic survey. So definitely an UPSC aspirant must know what is happening inside the government. See, normally when we study the subject, we will study the concepts. But while you are writing especially the mains answers, you must have an idea what is happening in the country. You cannot write a very generalized answer. You cannot give a very generalized solutions. When a solution has already started implementing in this country under a particular scheme or under a particular program, definitely you have to mention it. Sometimes some questions can be directly from the implementation of various programs or schemes. And in prelims, the data that they have given in the economic survey is important, and sometimes they will coin some new words. They have given about some new indices or indexes, and the analysis that you draw from the data can also be a statement of a question in our UPSC prelims. So it has its own multiple uses. It has its own multiple uses. So that is why economic survey is very, very important. Okay. So this year economic survey, it has presented in only one volume. The second book is, it's not a volume, but it is something like a statistical appendix. I will show you. And in this volume, they have given 12 chapters. They have given 12 chapters, and each and every chapter has its own importance. So it is something, first one is relating to the state of economy. So how the economy has performed in the last 1 year particularly, and also what is the outlook for the next year. So next year at what rate we will grow. So that also mentioned it in India's medium term growth outlook. So the policies that we are implementing today, are the programs that we are implementing since last so many years, is not meant for only short term growth. It is going to give the results in future also. So this government, the programs whatever they are implementing, is having their own short term objectives and as well as medium term objectives. And certainly what is that medium term growth outlook with an optimum and hope, in this they have mentioned fiscal development, revenue relish. So this chapter deals about the finances of both union government as well as state government, their level of debt, their level of tax collection, efficiency in tax collection, various programs to increase the tax collection, the simplification of processes in tax collection. So various sources available to enhance or to augment the revenues of the both union and state governments, the financial discipline what they are following. So that is what, and it is also deals about the expenditure, how much we are doing in a fruitful way, how much we are doing it for revenue. So they are all mentioned in this. Monetary management and financial intermediation. So again, this is another area of economy. This is completely the domain of Reserve Bank of India. The level of money supply in the economy and how we are controlling the money supply in the economy. The different tools how Reserve Bank of India is using. What are the recent volatilities in the monetary management? And it is also deals about the financial intermediation. So it talks about the banking system. It talks about non-banking system. So it talks about the performance of the various financial institutes, and it also talks about the capital market. It deals with both primary market and as well as the secondary market. Okay. And it talks about insurance, it talks about pensions. Prices and inflation, successful tightrope walking. So in this chapter they have discussed about the inflation. What was the inflation trend in the economy in the especially last 1 year and in general in the last few years, and how the various global impacts have influenced the inflation of India, and how we are able to control it or how we are able to tame it, and what are the reasons for the inflation, what are the various inflation numbers. So that will be dealt, and what are the various measures to control the inflation by both government and as well as the central bank or Reserve Bank of India. So that was dealt in this 5th chapter. 6th one, social infrastructure and employment, big tent. The 6th chapter was the biggest chapter in the whole economic survey, and in this chapter they have mentioned about various social sectors like education, health, digital infrastructure, how it has improved the lives of the people, and also the various social sector development programs. It includes housing, it includes food grain distribution, it includes women, it includes children. So like that they have mentioned about the various social sector schemes, and this chapter is very, very important because you may get some preliminary questions from this chapter. Climate change and environment preparing to face the future. Yes, sustainable development is very, very important because the whole world is debating about this sustainability. And in this, what are the goals of India and what is the responsibility of India, how India is moving towards the sustainable development, how India is for protecting the environment, what are the steps that India has taken, and what are the commitments that India is having both at the global level and at the national level, and various initiatives protect both environment as well as wildlife. So those things mentioned in this, and this will also be useful for your environment and ecology. Apart from economy, it is also useful for environment and ecology. The chapter 8, chapter 9 and chapter 10. So chapter 8, agriculture and food management, from food security to nutritional security, industry, steady recovery, 10th services, sources of strength. So these three chapters deals about the performance of the Indian economy in three sectors. So what was the performance of Indian economy in agriculture and in industry and in services? So each and every sector has dealt separately, and it is not only about the performance, it is also about the various initiatives taken by the government, and it also gives the clear picture, the subcomponents of each and every sector, because this is primary, this is secondary and this is tertiary. What is their contribution to the GDP, what is their contribution to the GVA, what is their level of growth, how much employment it is creating, how much extra value that it is adding. So that information they will be giving. And this agriculture and food management chapter again very, very important, because both in prelims and as well as especially mains, you are having highest weightage to the agriculture. And in the mains, in the last 4-5 years, out of 9 questions in mains, that means in paper 3 from economy, 4 questions are asking from the agriculture. So definitely if you read this agriculture portion, at least you can answer 2 to 3 questions. At least you can answer 2 to 3 questions. So definitely this chapter is very, very important, especially for mains, for prelims also. Okay, because agriculture is having its own weightages, and it is not only deals with only farming, it also deals with animal husbandry, dairy, fisheries and other thing. And it has given a new concepts like organic and natural farming, because normally the official data you may not get it outside the economic survey. So the recent initiative with the recent progress that we have made, that you will get it here. Okay. And food processing, sunrise sector, food security, they have mentioned. Next, 11th one, external sector, watchful and hopeful. Yes, external sector is important for prelims. So in this, how much exports that we are doing, how much imports that we are doing, what is the level of deficits, what are the reasons for the deficit, and what is the level of investment that we are attracting, both in terms of direct investments and portfolio investment, what is the level of inflow and what is the level of outflow, how it is impacting our forex reserves, that ultimately how it impacts our the external debt payable capacity, and also the requirement of foreign exchange reserves to meet your regular imports. That analysis has given in this. And the exchange rate movement and how exchange rate is impacting all the parameters that I have mentioned. Okay, so this is something related to external sector, and they have given outlook for the external sector, caution amidst the global headwinds, because the world economy is facing some headwinds. So definitely it has its own impact, and survey is tried to analyze. Physical and digital infrastructure lifting potential growth. Definitely infrastructure plays a key role in lifting the growth, and here in this chapter they have clearly mentioned about what was the development on infrastructure, both in terms of physical infrastructure and as well as digital infrastructure, and where we are, let it be 10 years back, and where are we now, and how it is going to contribute to the growth. And it has given a progress related to the infrastructure development, and also the various schemes that we are implementing in infrastructure creation, and the new not schemes but programs like National Infrastructure Pipeline, Asset Monetization Pipeline, they have mentioned in this. So these are the 12 chapters, and this is a broad idea of each and every chapter, and every chapter is important, and just go through it. Okay. Next, second one is statistical appendix. So the statistical appendix is an additional thing that has given along with economic survey. This was also released before last year, and in this they have given the statistical data related to the various sectors and segments of economy. So this data you no need to remember, but whenever you are getting any doubt or whenever you want to see the data, just open it and compare it. Okay, and here they have given related to agriculture data, industrial data, GDP data, per capita income data, exports, imports, forex reserves, like lot of roads, railways, lot of information they have given. So just I'll show for you. See, suppose take the case of this gross national income, net national income, per capita net national income. Since 1950-51 they have given. So since 1950-51 they have given. So likewise this whole set of this whole document has given data related to the various aspects. Okay. So don't search for the data somewhere. Here the data is available. You can compare and you can get an idea. So something related to the primary market, secondary market, level of investments, banking and their level of non-performing assets, the level of disbursement of loans, rate of recovery, debt servicing ratio, like that various parameters they have mentioned in this document. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay. So again it's related to the inflation. So whenever you want data, just go and look here and you'll get a full clarity, because sometimes UPSC is also asking a question related to the trajectory of a particular parameter, whether it is consistently increasing, consistently decreasing, or the maintaining any specific rhythm. So that is what they are asking. So just whenever the important parameters, just go and search the data and try to write a conclusion, but otherwise this volume is very, very important. Okay. So this is all about introduction to the economic survey. So in the next video I'll try to start with the chapter 1 and chapter 2. Likewise we'll discuss about the all the chapters of economic survey. Don't spend much time in reading the economic survey. After attending the class, I think 2 to 3 hours is sufficient. Just highlight the points which are which you feel important, and before you going to the exam, let it be 10 days in advance, just have a glimpse so that you can complete it in, let it be 1 or 1.5 hours. But just per a chapter spend 2 to 3 hours. Likewise 12 chapters are there, in 12 days you can complete. Okay. So thank you.
Amrita IAS Academy.